Flight boss, bitch. You know. For sure. You know, listen to the mind of Dietary smooth. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And we're going to talk about hair growth, and no FAP. Yee-hee. Because I've been getting that question a lot in my emails and shit. So I'm finna get ready to help all you motherfuckers that's bald out there. About to help all you motherfuckers. All you motherfuckers that's 19 years old and like, damn, why am I going bald and I'm young as hell? Finna help all you motherfuckers and all you females too that keep shedding and shit and don't understand why you shedding a lot more than your friends. Or if you had a child and after you had your child, you started losing hair and things of that nature and you're not understanding why. So this is, and if you're old and if you're getting old in age, you see what I'm saying, where your body have a more harder time of honing in on the protein and things of that nature. I'm finna help all y'all motherfuckers out when we talk about hair and no fat and the correlation to all this shit and all this kind of shit. So I'm finna help all y'all motherfuckers out. So all right, look, let's break this down first. What you need to understand is don't let no motherfucking doctor tell you to go get a supplement or a pill. You see what I'm saying? Vitamins is nothing more, nothing less, but something that you take externally to fight something that you produce by having lack of something. You see what I'm saying? A vitamin does not replace what you have lost. A vitamin is a supplement you take to fight what your body produced by not having something. So what is this that you're not having? This is where you need to start understanding things about amino acids and proteins. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is dealing with the nitrogen and things of that nature. And y'all could even call it the rhesus monkey, the RH and things of that nature. But y'all get lost into the names and shit like that. But really, this is just a protein that enables you to sustain yourself through an astral travel. And whatever astral travel that you're going through, right, may cause certain friction. So you develop certain body pieces to sustain yourself through that friction. So the better you can sustain yourself through a friction, right? This is how hair gets developed. So the more you want your hair to be smooth or silky or something like that, the more you're going to open up possibilities for your hair not to be thick and for your hair not to grow. You see what I'm saying? But before we get to that, because this is for my people who's losing their hair and they want their shit to come back and things of that nature. So check this out. So when we think about proteins and things of that nature, right? Now, this is amino acids, proteins, minerals, bacteria. These are people. So keep that in mind. This is like merely what you are right now. So as an organ, we have an organization. So we have a system. So us as people has to keep that system going. And say like a civilization get nuked because of war or a catastrophic event happened to the point a flood happened or a tornado or hurricane and then it washed a lot of the people away. That land is going to become deserted. Therefore, there's not going to be no life there, aka no sex, no growth in population. So you need to understand when you're looking at the minor minuscule of life, that's just like the 1 and 2 dimension. Getting ready to come into your 3rd dimension, and it's all making up the 3rd dimension. So I'm trying to give you a perception of what things are. You need to understand what your hair is. You see what I'm saying? I could just say it's blood, but we need to get to the deep of it so you don't be lost and led by cause y'all done got me on a trail due to y'all messaging me and shit like that. I didn't looked at a few of the videos y'all told me to look at and told me to talk about. I'm like, god damn, motherfuckers is lost in this world. So all right, now check this out. This is why don't be even listening to no conscious motherfucker that tell you to stop drinking milk. That's another video. But for the most part, let's get into this though. Now, check this out. Now that you understand these are people, when you talk about a supplement or a vitamin, this is something that you take to fight something that you develop. So when you lack something, so you lack protein, right? When you start to lose hair, that means you lack protein. So for the most part, say all you females out there and some of you males, y'all want y'all hair to grow faster or you losing hair, and then they tell you to go get some motherfucking Rogaine, or they tell you to go get some motherfucking Hair Infinity, or they tell you to go get some biotin or some shit. This is what you need to understand. Those are pills because you are already lacking something. And then when you take those pills, they're only fighting what you have developed because you lack protein. You lack certain proteins. So what you need to understand is throw all them fucking pills away, right? What you need to understand is go do your research on what each protein your hair is made out of. Everybody's hair is made out of a group of proteins. I think one of them is I don't know, you could go do your research, but they're made out of certain protein. One sound like carotene or something like that, but it's a group of them. You go look at every, it's like 7 of them. Go look at every protein that your hair is made out of, and then throw them pills away, and then you go get those proteins. And 9 times out of 10, those do not come in pills. Those come in powder. Those come in powder form. So for the most part, when you're thinking about replenishing yourself, it's because you lack these certain proteins. Now, what does this mean, right? It may be certain things that you're doing in your life, or just you in your life day to day, and you eating regular shit, and you not paying attention what you got going on, right? As the older you get, just by default, as an age, by default, your body start getting weak on holding on to proteins. You see what I'm saying? So that's what a lot of times vitamins is for, to help you hold on to proteins. But if you already low on proteins, then there's not proteins reproducing, aka you don't got people reproducing. So when you're low on protein, right, you don't got people in that area keeping that area functioning. So it will become a deserted area, aka you'll start to shed or have bald spots, aka deserted areas. Now here's where this come into play, where we talk about no FAP and things of that nature. And one of the other reasons they say that y'all lose hair, because don't listen to nobody that say it's hereditary. No, it's not. The only thing hereditary is just you carrying the characteristics and traits of your parents. But that ain't got nothing to do with how your amino acids, aka your constellations and you and your DNA, is actually organizing. You just pointed in them directions for them to organize in that same way, aka you start to act in other people's patterns, and that's where it come from. You know what I'm saying? But that's why you can have certain people in families where their whole family is bald, but the kids' hair don't never go bald. You see what I'm saying? Or it being vice versa. The parents got long, beautiful hair, and the child still go bald. You know what I'm saying? When they get in their 20s. So that lets you know that these is myths. These are theories. You see what I'm saying? So I'm finna, and the no FAP is a theory also, but I'm finna help you understand how it correlates. Now, when we talk about small people, your sperm cells, you make little people, right? Now, spirits go in these to live out the existence through you to be born out in the 3rd dimension. But that's another video. So you have to make these people based upon your chakras. When you vibe with one chakra and vibe with another chakra and bring those two together, it become a heat wave, or it becomes those beings becoming heat, or it creates temperature or temperament, and aka life comes out of that. That's why I don't like when y'all be saying the sun is actually hot. No, that's just that big body of water being closer to this big body of water, and it creates what y'all think is light or imagination or things of that nature. But see, y'all got the whole world wrong. That's why everything, y'all don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? But that's another video. Now, here's the thing. You create people. So people, all shapes and forms and things of that nature, right? This is the protein. This is the protein. So you got walking proteins inside you, right? So when you ejaculate too much, you see what I'm saying? When you ejaculate too much, you deplenish all your protein. So here's the thing, right? Here's where they got you confused. Where they say testosterone and male pattern baldness and DHT, right? Because they'll make you think that you need to go buy some vitamins, or you need to go buy some DHT blockers, which is Rogaine, right? Whereas it's DHT blockers in it. Rogaine itself got a whole bunch of other shit in it, but y'all don't need to be using that. It's like alcohol and that shit and all kind of shit. But that's another video. You see what I'm saying? But for the most part, the DHT, they will make you think you need some DHT blockers. Now, here's what you need to understand how DHT is derived. DHT is derived from having testosterone. Having testosterone is having masculinity. So, for you to want to disclose or reject your testosterone because you don't want no DHT, you can do that manually. Just start acting feminine. Stop acting masculine. Stop acting competitive. Stop acting logical. Stop acting too rational. You know what I'm saying? And get more into your feminine natures. Now, I'm not saying acting gay or anything of that nature. I'm just saying get the logical, rational, competitive ego nature away and tap more into your vibrational, emotional, more faith-like, non-schedule-like energy in effect, to the point that you may even come across as moody to other people. But that's another video, because here's the thing. When you talk about DHT blockers, DHT is developed from having a sexual arousement. You see what I'm saying? So as a male, it is your right to have a sexual arousement. So why go get a DHT blocker? And then it even tells you it may fuck up your sexual arousements. It may even tell you that as a side effect. But for the most part, you're not understanding that's what it is, because you think you want your hair to grow back. You know what I'm saying? Because you went bald. But what you need to understand is this. DHT there's no such thing as stopping DHT. Now, here's the thing. Here's why women can hold on to hair, but even though women still lose hair also, even if they super masturbate too much, they'll shed. But for the most part, they won't shed as much as male. Because here's the thing. Men have the possibility to ejaculate, so they accumulate more protein to exhaust. When a female release, she doesn't necessarily release and it all comes out like that. It like kind of release into her emotions and feelings and vibrations and things of that nature. Then a little fluid comes out, and then it gets like pushed out with the blood cycle and stuff like that, and her being on a period and shit like that. Like it's a different cycle with women. So women hold in a whole lot more of their protein than males. You see what I'm saying? So even though a female hair may still get stringy and thin from time to time, it still won't completely detach like the male's hair. And the male can't never get his shit nappy or coral again. You know what I'm saying? Now here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Now a male, you might as well forget it. Forget trying to detach your sexual arousements. Why would you even try to do that as a male? So here's what's actually happening. Here's what's actually happening, right? When you deplenish too much of your protein, aka you ejaculate too much, right? Then that's not even the problem. Is not even DHT. That's not even a problem. The problem is when you release too much of your protein, aka when you ejaculate too much, then when you develop masculinity and testosterone, whatever that word is, how y'all say it in English. But for the most part, when you develop that sexual arousement and that masculine energy and that logical energy, that develops DHT. Now here's the thing, right? Without protein, DHT act as something that fights your body. You see what I'm saying? Now if you had enough protein, it don't matter how much you bust a nut. But if you busting too much nuts, you busting too much of your protein. So for the most part, it's not the fact that DHT destroys your hair and makes you bald. It's that area of your hair is sensitive to DHT because you don't got no people there to fight it. For example, it's like a house. Say it's a thunderstorm, right? And ain't nobody learned how to build houses yet for that thunderstorm. So every time that thunderstorm come, everybody is just getting rained on. So everybody might die and shit like that. There's no sheltering. So that's like if you kill all your people, aka you bust too many nuts, so you ain't got enough protein in your body, right? When you develop testosterone, right? The DHT, you develop DHT. And then the DHT go to all the areas in your body that got the nitrogen there, aka whatever that area that you travel through as a space to develop those spaceships, right? So you developed your skull from those areas as an astral travel in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, shit that developed your bones. That's another video though, I don't want to get off track, right? So when DHT, aka like viruses and shit out the ground and bugs and shit, aka it's like little bugs and shit like that. So look at this like people and bugs. When you got a bug around you, an ant or a spider, you kill that shit or something, or you get away from it, or smack off of you, right? But if it ain't no person there, then you got all kind of parasites and termites and bugs that could just come in and erode in the land without no shelter in there, because it's always raining, so everything is commoded. So keep that in mind, right? So when you kill all your people, aka protein, right? And then you start to get into your testosterone and shit like that, right? Now, you don't got enough people in that area when bugs get there, aka DHT, aka the shit you developed there, the shit you developed from testosterone. So since you ain't got no people there, right, it just eat up everything. It eat up all the wood like termites. It eat up all the worms like the little bugs, the other bugs that's in the ground. So some worms, aka some bacteria you need there, you don't got those no more because they get ate up by the termites and the bugs that came. The foreign bugs, the shit that you develop after the fact from having lack of something. So you develop, so for the most part, once they get in that area and shit like that, it's all ate up. So you don't, it don't, it's like life is deserted there. You might got one or two people and they waiting to die. AKA one or two strands of hair left. And that's waiting to fall out. So for the most part, what you need to understand is pills and DHT blockers, these things is just, you just use these things to fight something that you develop because you have lack of protein. So what you need to do is go look at all the proteins that your hair is made out of and then go get those. And 9 times out of 10, it's probably not even going to come in a pill. I mean, I don't know what y'all got in these times. Y'all probably do got them in pills in these times. But for the most part, it needs to be distilled. So when you think about distilled, think about something being modified or something being put in a smaller form. So think about weed being grown in water. When weed being grown in water, they call that hydro weed, right? Because the seed is being germinated within the span of water. So this is something that the true essence can stay in and don't get burnt out. So, but it can be put in a lesser form. AKA when the weed come out, the water or the flow get put in a lesser form. So it's always gonna be hydrogenized. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, it's gonna come in a powder form. And then when you take that, this is you replenishing. Now, I'm not telling y'all no fat motherfuckers that since you're doing this, you can go ahead and start jacking off every day again. That don't mean that. You know what I'm saying? You probably been jacking off for so goddamn long that before life can even build up back up there, might take a good 2 to 3 years. You know what I'm saying? But you got to start from somewhere. So you need to, so the proteins that you intake in powder form is going to help replenish the protein that you already in lack of, and therefore that's what's going to help build the people in that civilization. So the stronger the civilization, the in third dimension is going to look like your hair thicker. You got more hair strands, and then once you got so many people in the civilization, that's going to look like in the third dimension, the more coral your hair is. Y'all see the end of my hair? Y'all see how I made it wrap? Now, I be having a hard time because that's another video. When we talk about ancestors and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I can't necessarily get dreads. My shit won't even really lock up like that. So, I don't really give a fuck about dreads like that anyway. But, you know, based upon how you grow it and things of that nature, make sure you always keep a coral. Like an Indian, or always keep a coral like a what y'all Jamaican, or like a Haitian, or like, you know what I'm saying, make sure at the end always keep a coral, because the coral lets you know that you have a lot of people that live there. If your shit is straight, if it's all like super straight and stringy like that, your people, you got a dead civilization. So you lack protein. So don't go waste all your money on vitamins. Don't go waste all your money on DHT. Don't go waste all your money on trying to change your health. What it is your body is lacking a protein, and you have depleted yourself so much that your body is not even holding on protein. AKA your body is not holding on to enough people to create organisms. So you don't even got no government. You ain't got nothing. It's just chaotic running around. Everybody killing everybody. AKA everybody dead. So when you take your head off, it's dead. So for the most part, it's like, you got to understand, you know what I'm saying, females, this is why you guys shed also. You know what I'm saying? Don't become too sexual. You know what I'm saying? When you become too sexual, it leads into other things, to the point that you want to put too much weave in your hair, to the point that you want to make your hair too straight, to the point that all this is tied under the feminine energy, not just being sexual. Being sexual is wanting to be looked at a certain way. So you will start to do certain characteristics and attributes that will make that would damage your wave, and your wave will be just subtle. Your wave won't be a wave no more. It'll just be subtle. And when something's subtle, it like parasites and bacteria can accumulate on that shit. Like, you ever like had a glass of water to sit on your table for a long time and you ain't move it? It's just collecting all the information from all kind of foreign people that's traveling through the air and shit like that. So for the most part, that's how your hair look. And then you'll start to think you need to get weave and shit like that, which it ain't nothing wrong with weave and nothing like that. I'm just trying to give y'all the psychology behind things. But for the most part, you need to understand that you're lacking protein. So when you exhaust yourself too much, you start to lack protein. Now, if you're having sexual intercourse, that's different, because whatever you release, you're receiving the same thing, male and female. You know what I'm saying? It's voids always be fulfilled. So when you, as a male, when you ejaculate within a female, you actually receive her fluids also. This is why anytime you have sex with a woman unprotected, y'all like technically married. That's another video though. I'm gonna get into that, because y'all might get lost of the word marriage and think I'm talking about something else. But this is a spiritual thing. And then vice versa. When a woman, when she intake whatever the male ejaculated into her, you know what I'm saying? The area that goes into, it was fluid there. And that's the fluid that gets sucked in to the area that the male had a void in from every centimeter that he was releasing. Every centimeter you release, that's a small void that her fluid's going within you. You know what I'm saying? This is how you catch a sexual transmitted disease. Otherwise, how you think you catch a sexual transmitted disease if her fluids ain't going in yours? Or, duh, don't just think as a male your fluid is just going into her. How the fuck you think you catch something from her? Her fluid went into you, dumbass. So, you know what I'm saying? This is exchanging of like forms of plasma before it got developed to be what y'all think is bloodstreams and shit like that. So you catching the essence of what they have created as far as the world of your lesser life and you. So hair is a simple thing. You know what I'm saying? It's very simple. You know what I'm saying? I'm expecting to hear some success stories. It ain't got shit to do with all y'all hair products, all y'all pills, or whatever. It ain't even got nothing to do with goddamn grease or oil either. Which oil is cool, splashing some water and oil on your shit as a topic. That's actually cool, because it's like you giving fruits and helping them, like you giving good rain for their fruits and shit like that, for they could create new GMOs and shit up there. But for the most part, it ain't got shit to do with exercise. It ain't got shit to do with your diet. It ain't got shit to do. You need to understand, the older you get, the more your body is hard to hold in onto protein. The feminine bodies know how to hold in on protein a lot more than males. And that's what you need to understand also. But females, you can shed too and get thin hair. And then for the most part, you're lacking protein. So it's not, like the older you get, and depending on how much you already exhausted, it don't even matter what kind of diet you cling on to, because it might not be enough goddamn string beans in the goddamn world that will replenish the amount of protein you have lost 20 years. You're gonna have to do 20 years worth of, if you 50, 60 goddamn year old and you damn bald, you could grow your hair back. But goddamn it, if you lacking 20 years worth of protein, it ain't a goddamn 20-year worth of string bean. That's gonna have to be like a golden ass string bean. A golden ass soy, a golden ass motherfucker. Your ass need to go ahead and get in that liquid diet and go get that fucking powder. You see what I'm saying? And go ahead and make that your goddamn food. You see what I'm saying? And you could go ahead and have any diet you want. Continue eating whatever the fuck you was eating. But your ass need protein replenish. And regular foods, you ain't gonna get enough of that. When you was a baby, it was easy, because you was drinking from your mama's titty, or you was drinking some cow milk, aka you was drinking a form of plasma or blood. So within those proteins was helping you. You see what I'm saying? So you was developing all kind of Rhesus monkeys. I don't want to play with y'all on that level, but you was developing all kind of life. But your ass then woke up and got conscious and looked at looked at milk and figured out it was mucus, which that's what blood is, and was like, oh no, we don't need to be drinking cow mucus. Yet your ass is creating limitations from your ass growing hair. Why you think you got hair? The hair come from that kind of protein. This why animals in general by default have more hair than humans. So humans got the ability to grow hair from animals. So when you hear things about the Rhesus monkey thing, it's not that monkeys had sex with animals, or I mean a human has sex with a monkey and then that's why y'all share the same blood. No. Y'all share the same astral travel. Y'all share the same water. So y'all came from the same location. So it's certain spirits that they came into this chakra in the water, which y'all call TMI or Earth, right? And y'all came out of the same waters as certain other spirits. Now, certain other spirits may have came from Ceres or Canis Major or something like that. So the bodies and the information that they develop for themselves what look like monkeys or donkeys or some shit like that, or gorillas and chimpanzees. Your ass might have came from Orion or some shit like that. So the body you developed and the chakra system you developed from yourself was something that looked like a human. But y'all came out of the same water. So y'all came from the same nitrogen elements and shit like that. As far as astral travel, when y'all came here. So all of y'all got like the same bloodstreams and shit. Like, it's different. So people who got Rh positive, AB, C, or O blood, y'all can do whatever the fuck y'all want, and y'all are able to sustain more. So you say you next to a person, say you play football, right? And you going bald, right? Your hairline is fucked up. You got the M. You got the Batman hair logo. So you get roasted. You hate when it's shower time. When it's time for football break and shit, right? And then you sit next to your friend, right? His hair just long as fuck. He get twisted, braided up. You hate this nigga, right? But yet he tell you that he jack off every day, and you be on the internet every day like, man, they telling me to stop. Why is I bored and shit like that? Right? You need to understand that it might be just a mere fact that you are a O negative or OAB or OB or OA blood type, and he might just be an O positive. So just by him being O positive, the proteins that he have in his body can hold on to that gene a lot more than you can hold on to that nitrogen gene. You ain't got certain antibodies and certain antigens and certain shit to fight the DHT when you lack protein. They can. When they lack protein, they came here in the blood type that already have that protein developing. They already got those antigens and shit developing and shit. So it don't matter how much protein they lack. You see what I'm saying? So his hair will never get affected by that. So this is why it's important to understand your blood type too. Like, the shit is deep. I could go deeper than this, but man, don't be listening to no fucking scientists. And if y'all got any more questions, direct questions, because I like that question and shit like that. Because when I actually looked at a lot of the videos that and I ain't gonna say your name, but when I actually looked at the videos you was sending me and you was telling me that why this not working for you, when it led me on a trail. Then when I start seeing how many people have this problem, then it's no solution. Like, it is literally no solution on the internet about y'all hair. Like, I sat here and did research. It's literally no solution about y'all hair. And the shit is so goddamn simple, it's mind-boggling. It just make me think that niggas is coming up with shit to just take y'all money. Like, for real. But if you got any specific questions, leave it on the comments and shit, and I'll make a video about that. But yeah, flight boss, bitch, goddamn air, ee-hee.